Hey, welcome to Real Custom Lures. My name is Jeff, and I hope everybody's had a wonderful holidays. And I'm gonna get back into the workshop. And today we're going to be making an inline spinner using the Hagens wire bending tool. Let's get going. Okay, I got things set up here. And like I said, we're going to be using the Hagens wire bending tool to make the inline spinner. And I did two other videos using the Hagens when I was making the jig spinner arms. So if you haven't seen those, please check those out. And I'll just do another quick overview. Again, this is the Hagens. You have the lower section down here. And you have your two wire bending blocks, I call them. You have a handle down here, 2 pins, and that's where the wire slides through. And then this is what makes your forms for your wire. And then up here is actually where we'll be using on the upper half of it. That will actually make the twist eyes. Again, I hope this angle's good, and then everybody can see. So with all that being said, again, I kind of drew up a little sketch again, a little diagram for my different measurements when I make the first twist eye for the bucktail, and then the second twist eye after we put things together will be for the tie line. And I got some diagram measurements on that as well that you can go by, or however you want to do it. What's kind of neat about inline spinners is it's not really, I'm going to make a 4-inch or a 5-inch. The size of the inline spinner is going to determine how much beads, body weight you put on here, the blade. That sort of is going to give you how long your inline spinner is actually going to be. And you'll see what I'm talking about while we're doing this. Again, this 8-inch stainless steel wire. Now this one is a 0.40 wire diameter. And the first thing we need to do is we need to make the form that we're going to attach the bucktail to. So I'm arm all the way over here. Down here is the components I have down here, the plate with the beads, the body, and the bucktail. So what we're going to do here first is we're going to lay the wire between the 2 pins here. And I'm going to touch it to the first wire bending arm up here. It's about 3/4 inch. About 3/4 inch. And in that way, this is actually what's going to twist around the wire frame that's going to do the loops. You only need like 2 or 3. You don't need too many to secure that eye. So we're going to take the wire. I'm going to start turning clockwise. We're going to come around. It's going to touch the side of this block here. I'm going to push it until it just touches the long wire. Let go of the pressure. And now we have the beginning of our form here. And we're just going to turn it over, put it on the center eye. And you want to try to keep this flat. And as I'm doing it clockwise, I'm pushing inward. I'm actually bending this wire out a little bit to the right, just so it touches the short wire. And now we have the form of the bucktail tie line here. We'll get the arm up here. And for those purposes here, I'm just going to kind of use a small bucktail you can use a pretty big bucktail. I'm gonna do a couple more videos on inline spinners, and I'll go more in depth on sizes of bucktails and my suggestions when you want to use a split ring. Right now I'm attaching this bucktail straight to the wire frame. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and attach it right here. I'm going to lay it on top. And if your form is correctly, the short wire is going to lay right in this slot on the upper slot. The long wire is going to lay in this right here. Your bucktail will probably be hanging over the side somewhere, which is fine. Now we're going to close this arm. I'm going to keep pressure down on this arm here. Then right here I'm going to put just firm pressure in. And I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 loops till I hear the clicking. So we'll go 1, let's see, 2, 3. As soon as I hear the click, 2 clicks, I'll stop, raise the arm, pull this out, and now we have the bucktail secured to the tail line here. Now there is a small tag, and to me it hasn't really bothered getting tangled or anything. You can take a file and file that a little down, but it's not necessary. Now if you do it too light, then your tag might be longer. Then I recommend you snip it off. Now that we have this attached, we're going to start building the body here with the beads, the lure weight, and the blades. And I hope this comes out. Maybe I'll move the plate up here. See if that helps a little. All right, don't fall, plate. That will give some background. All right, let's try this. If not, I might need to reposition the camera. So I'm actually doing it over the table, but let's give this a try. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put on a red bead here. And I'm going to follow it with another bead. This is a silver bead here, nickel. Now I'm going to put the body weight on. And again, I'm going to talk more about the body weights and so forth. This is a lead poured weight here. I get these unpainted and I just paint these myself. Any color you want. I just happen to paint this one black. And this is a 3/8. We're going to slide it on. I'm going to take my other big my other big bead here. Slide it on. Now I'm going to take just a brass bead here, smaller one. The challenging part is finding the holes on the beads to slide them down the wire shaft. So now here comes the blade. This happens to be a Indiana blade. And another nice thing about building your own, you can use any blade that you want. You're fluted. Okay, my phone was ringing, so I had to stop recording. So note to self, make sure I put my phone on vibrate or just silent. So then where were we? Oh yeah, okay, so we got the beads attached. We got the weight on here, it's 3/8 inch ounce. And like I say, I'll talk more about beads and blades in another video. Now we're going to attach a blade to it, and this happens to be an Indiana blade. We're going to take the clevis here. I always put the first clevis on. And then, now when you're attaching the blade, make sure that the convex, the indented side, is pointed toward the shaft. You don't want it to be like this. You want it to be pointed down. And you'll know the first time you cast it because it's going to spin really funny. Now finish getting this other end. All right. We're going to top it off with a bead. Okay, now we're ready to form the twist eye that's going to be the tie line. Let me put this over here. Now to do this, like I say, I can't, you might figure something out or however you want to do it. The easy way I found to do it is I measure from where my last bead is, which actually is the top bead, before I make my form. So I don't cut anything off here. I'll do that after I actually make the wire form. So to do this, I'll lay the wire between the two pins here. Now, where the bucktail is dangling, where you see the twist eye, you want to make sure you can look straight through the twist eye. It's kind of important you do that. That way everything will be uniformed for your top eye up here, your twist eye. Now the back of this wire bending block right here is where I'm measuring from back to this first bead. It's about 3/8 of an inch away, or kind of put your finger in here and like it's just kind of like either halfway on the top of this bead here. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. Now I'm going to twist just a little bit to hold the tension. Now just the arm and the pins are just holding this tension. I need to twist it because my eye started slanting down. There we go. And that's about right. And you'll just have to experiment with it, because as soon as I start turning, this is going to start drawing up. So we're going to make our turn. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's drawing up closer. Oh, it's almost touching this. I probably maybe should have gone back just a hair more. Now same thing. I'm going to keep turning until it just touches the body now, till it touches the body, and I'm pulling just to the right a little bit. And I'm going to let go of the tension. And now we have the form again to where we're going to do the twist eye on top here. I used to try to measure it and then snip the wire. And what would happen a lot is I would accidentally tilt it too far, and these beads will just, I mean, they'll just go everywhere. So I found out anyhow for me is I do the form first, and that prevents the beads from accidentally falling off. Now from kind of right here, the bend, remember the R bend, if you saw my video making jig spinner arms, this is the R bend where it comes back right to here. So from that bend, I'm going to measure about 3/4 or thumb's lengths away, and then I'm going to snip off the excess. I'm just going to kind of do my thumb measurement here with the pliers. Again, make sure when you're snipping this wire, pulling it away from you. There we go. Now I'm going to add a barrel swivel to this. You don't have to add a barrel swivel to it, but if you're fishing inline spinners, you don't want to tie your line straight to the tie line of an inline spinner, because you're going to end up getting twist line throughout your whole reel. You might not see it after the first, or notice it after first, few casts, 10 casts. But if you cast 20, 100 times, that line, your fishing line's gonna start getting really tight, and pretty soon it'll turn up being a slinky, and then you go casting, and you're just gonna have a big old bird's nest. So if you don't attach a barrel swivel to it, just make sure you're using a snap swivel. Anything that will help prevent that line twist. Anyhow, so I'm putting the barrel swivel on. Same thing, placement. Gonna make sure the wire up here that's going to wrap around the main frame here, wire frame, is on top, pointed up. This is down here. Got this closed. Now I'm just going to close this down. Back that bead off. There we go. If your body's kind of crooked, you can kind of straighten it out a little bit. I don't know how much you can see of that, but I'll find out when I look at the video. Now again, keep pressure down while I'm rotating, while I'm doing the twist. Firm pressure and rotate, 1 or 2 or 3 times so you hear the click. And one more click, then I usually stop. And we take it out. And there you have it. We just made ourselves a really nice inline spinner. And this thing is ready to go to go fishing with. Now you may have noticed these little white caps on my hooks here. I'll do a little bonus feature here shortly, and I'll talk more about those white caps on there. They're lifesavers. And that's it for using the Hagens for the inline spinner. All right, now to the bonus feature I was talking about. So these little caps on here, they're silicone, and they're called fish hook protectors. You can get them on Amazon, and these things are great. Matter of fact, my wife actually found these on Amazon because I think she was getting tired of me about whining, getting poked and cut and stabbed, or she was getting tired of buying me Band-Aids. I mean, this is a 100-box count Band-Aids here. So I think it's more she was tired of buying me Band-Aids and hearing me whining about my injuries out here in the workshop. But I don't get that anymore. So to use these, they're great. When I first looked at them, I thought, okay, these, I don't know about these, but they work great. I mean, all sizes of hooks. And not just, the treble hooks that work on the single ones as well that I work with, like my spinner baits. But you just a little twist. And a little twist here. And no more boo-boos, no more hooks. You don't get poked and stabbed. These things are great. So anytime when I work with fishing lures that have hooks, I'm always putting this on. I don't take these off very often unless I have to. Like, for example, the spinner bait here, which I'll do a video on how I make my spinner baits. The only time I really take this off is when I'm actually putting the skirt on. And I'll show you that too, and that's it for the inline spinner. I'll be doing another video making an inline spinner, but I'll actually be using the TwisTech. which looks like this. So this will be my next video. Well, thank you for joining, and wishing you all a wonderful 2026. I'm excited about it. I have a lot of things I want to release and make, so I'm kind of writing down a lineup of things I want to do. I might not release video content every week because I do a lot of fishing, and so when I'm not fishing, I'm going to be in the workshop. I'll release some video content. Well, until next time, tight lines, and I'll catch you later.